Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu to some of you and peace to the rest of you. This is Blackheart signing Black in again, and this time I have to address a certain segment of the select guys. I don't have to address the ones who can hear somebody else's perspective and not interrupt with, well, y'all just mad because y'all didn't get picked. If you're not doing these things, if you're able to hear someone out and you're not responding with that same line every time, you're not the one I got to address. If you're one who always interrupts, especially if you're interrupting with, you're just mad because you didn't get picked, I'm addressing you. You need to hear this out. And please try to hear the whole thing. I know you like to interrupt, but that's why I recorded this like this instead of putting it as a panel or a podcast or call-in show. I don't even know how to do them, to be honest. But I decided I would record this before I ever learned how to host a podcast or panel or something, because frankly, I don't want to hear you niggas say this no more. There do exist guys that are just mad because they didn't get picked, but usually they're very young. I mean, they're probably still in their teens. An adult, non-select man knows that he can't really be upset because women didn't pick him, because he has the right to not pick certain women. An adult non-select man is not upset about the preferences by themselves, even though the women's preferences in the West are wrong. There's something wrong with them. Whether you benefit from them or not, the fact is they're wrong. But we're not usually upset about that per se, even if we disagree, and we're not upset with you. What we're upset about is a specific combination, and the first ingredient in the combination is the goddamn effing lying. Women have lied when most of us were lied to from multiple directions. Our mothers sometimes did it. Aunts, grandmothers, lady cousins, female friends at school, and the TV. All these directions we were lied to by women wanted from the first place. So here we were 11, 12, and 13 being told certain things women want. And when you're told these things, they're all things that are within a man's control. It's always something that's within a man's control. And these things are also consistent with what your parents tell you to do and be because of their morality. That's what you're told from all these corners that women want. I feel actually kind of good for the ones who are now teenagers, because they have access to red pill awareness. So they get to sidestep that lying BS. A lot of us don't, though. A lot of us never had that opportunity. We got lied to, had no way of knowing there were lies. And then we grow up trying to implement what were lies in the beginning so that we could have some options with good women, and only to find out that in addition to all the lies they said about what they wanted, they lied about another thing too. We don't approach men because we're women. That's the man's job. So then when you finally realize what's going on, you're usually in your 20s. You're in your 20s, and then you're realizing that women don't know the difference between a nice guy and a wimp, so they don't want nice guys. They want guys that break rules and at least can convince the woman that they've caused some trouble somewhere down the line unnecessarily. And that not only do they want these guys, the guys that they said they didn't want or the guys they didn't say they wanted, but they're pursuing these guys while we're pursuing them. We're supposed to pursue them. We're supposed to go and introduce ourselves to them because they don't approach men, especially when they're attractive, only to find out they're approaching men. They're just approaching men that their fathers and mothers don't want them to approach, don't want them being with. That's what's going on. So you realize that you've been lied to multiple times, tenfold. Then on top of that, you are expected to sit there and listen to them vent about some other guys that they won't leave. Then after that, you are expected to be willing to take them and their used up, stretched out genitals and their children from other men and all the other baggage that comes from their bad experiences and their inability to bond with you anyway, and be a stepdad to these kids and take on all the price of the vagina and none of the benefits. That's what it boils down to. It is an insult. You wouldn't take a deal like that. and nobody could blame you. You're not supposed to. Well, non-select guys are pretty much offered only that deal, and through deception, and then they realize that this is a deception, and the only thing that really being offered is that deal, and you want them to not be upset about it. You want them to say that it's okay. No, it's not okay. Most men are being lied to and deceived and being tricked, and they're not select. You are getting what you get from these women for free because most of the men are expected to pay the price for what you're getting for free. So I understand that a lot of times, even those of you that are polite, you may simply not know. I don't really blame you. You really may not know that vagina is quite expensive. You may really not understand that because you were never presented with the bill. And there's no reason to fault you if you really didn't know how expensive it was because no one told you it's expensive. No one presented you with the bill. So when you're thinking that the price you're paying for it is your game and your mouthpiece and your dime game, that's part of it, yeah. But the actual price of it is not that. It was the responsibility. And that's what other men had to pay for you. So if you agree with me or if you don't, I'm going to go ahead and use an analogy to explain it, and then I'm going to sign off because I'm done. Again, this message is not necessary for those of you select guys who can listen to another perspective from non-select men and not interrupt, especially with that same old tired line, you just mad because you ain't getting none. But for those of you who always do that stuff, you cut them off and then you interrupt with exactly that. And I've seen it happen. You need to understand this analogy. This would explain everything. Imagine that there's a store like the one that's right underneath my window right now, a regular grocery store, and they got candy. And there's a kid in the neighborhood that looks like he might steal some. He looks like he's bad news. So the store owner decides that he wants to get in good with the bad kid, right? So he just gives the kid candy that the kid otherwise might steal or he thinks he might steal. So the kid just gets used to walking in and, yeah, what's happening? And not even being respectful and then holding up candy bars and like, yeah, I'm going to take this one. And the owner's just giving him candy. And he walks out, and before you know it, the owner has given away $35 worth of candy in a week. And then some good kids come into the store. And they walk in and they say, how you doing, sir? Which way are the chips? Oh, they're over there. Okay, thank you. And then they go and they bring the chips and they bring other snacks and they put everything on the counter. Then they count the money out and they say, how much do I owe you? And they're just really respectful and they buy everything. And they don't even come across like they might steal anything from the store. And then the store owner, one day the kids come in and they say, well, we're going to get some chips and some fruit juice. And, oh, by the way, you have any chocolate bars? Oh, no, we don't have those. Okay. All right. You're out of them? Yeah, I've been giving the chocolate bars to this other kid. Oh, okay. So he's been buying them up. He bought all your Snickers? No, I gave them to him. Oh, you gave them to him? Oh, wow. Okay. But now you don't have any left. No, we don't. All right. So, okay. Well, I guess I'll take this other candy bar here then. This last one is left. This other one. All right. That'll be $35. Why is it $35 for this one candy bar? It's not even a Snickers. I shouldn't pay two. What's going on? Yeah, but I gave it to the other kid and he never gave me the money. So if you're really a nice kid and you're not just pretending to be a nice kid, you'll pay for the candy that he took and never paid for. You would look at the store owner and say, you know what, man? And you probably shoot the store owner. Now imagine a store owner doing that to your kid, and your kid's the good kid. And somebody else's kid is the one that goes in with no respect. And because he looks like he might steal, he's giving the candy for free. And your kid is asked to pay for it. Imagine that. That's what it's like being a non-select guy here. It's not just that it's not just that the store owners giving the Snickers to some other kids. It's the fact that they're looking at you and trying to dupe you into paying for it. trying to run a sight game on you to pay for it, because it has a price. The bad kid is probably going, or the one that's thought to be bad, is probably walking around thinking Snickers are just free. They don't cost anything. He may really not know that they cost something. But when the other kids come along and say, hey, look, man, Snickers are expensive. You've been getting Snickers for free. You know, man, you could sell them, make some money. I'll buy some from you. You're like, you'll buy some Snickers? Man, you a simp. And I'm not comparing this to tricking, but the point I'm making is that that's the analogy to this situation. I think I've said enough. I hope that what I've said has been a benefit. Assalamu alaikum.